so glad you mentioned self-sovereignty. That is my research, that is my expertise. I focus on bearing witness as Black women remember our ancestral inheritance, decentering the matrix, decentering all the things that try to make us forget who we are, our ancestral and spiritual gifts, intuitive power. And that requires self-sovereignty. Self-sovereignty means owning your own self. You are yours. You have the authority over your life. You do not subscribe to anyone's narrative of who you are or your identity. You embody self-sovereignty. You create your own story, regardless of who and what is said differently about you. It does not change the fabric of you. Okay? You are not an extra in your own life. You're not the stagehand laborer either. You are the protagonist, the main character, the executive producer, and the writer. You get all the royalty credits, and you are the VIP in the first row of the story called your life. This might be the Truman Show, but baby, your name is not Truman. What is your name? What is your name? My name is Kandake Kim. And I had a long, tough journey to get to this place of self-sovereignty. The place to where I don't care what the temperature is outside, I am centered internally. And that is a daily responsibility that I take because I am not going back into the matrix at all. I have learned through 21 years of professional leadership of wearing the mask and training others how to wear the mask. I have learned through my 10-year journey towards self-sovereignty through spiritual awakening and cracking open, breaking all the things that made up the mask for me. Imposter syndrome, fear of failure, procrastination, perfectionism, fear of being seen. I can name off all these things to you. I had them and still looked like I could own the show. But internally, it was a battle because I was torn between my own identity to who I knew I was at the core, but I just could not remember her. Okay? She had been buried deep, deep underneath years and years of oppression, of misogyny, of racism, and sexism, and all of these things that told me that I should not show up as myself. That I had to put on a mask before I walked out my front door, or even inside my own home. And then I began my journey of exploration. Then I began to align that with my dissertation research, where I explore how Black women sustain self-sovereignty within the matrix, within systems of oppression. I spent the last 7 years researching that as I navigated my own journey to that destination. I went from, in 2021, life is for the living. I was trying to justify why I'm still here because life was lifing. You guys know what was going on in 2021, and I had major health issues. So I had to tell myself repeatedly to show up and live life to the fullest. And I did that by challenging myself to a 21-day posting on social media of the things that brought me joy. I had to show up for myself for 21 days, which meant confronting my fear of failure, confronting my perfectionism, and it was gruesome. But I did it, and I was so proud of myself. But that was 2021, and I had so much more work to do. And as I grew spiritually and learned to trust my intuition and the power of my intuition, and how when the more I did that, the stronger I became, and the more I trusted myself, and the more spiritually aligned I became with my ancestors. And I realized this is not demonic. Who said this was demonic? Oh, so then I went down that rabbit hole of religion. Oh, yeah. Did that rabbit hole. And then Spirit kept telling me, you got to do more or you're going to go back on the loop. You got to face this fear. Every threshold that I got to was an opportunity to challenge those triggers. Just when I thought I had mastered a trigger, just when I thought that that button wasn't there anymore, some new experience made it pop up. And I was like, damn it, I didn't learn that lesson again. I didn't see it coming. But I slowly became more aware of those triggers. And with awareness came wisdom. And with wisdom came intentional decisions of how I chose to show up, regardless of what the weather was for the day. And the weather is the matrix. I may live within this system, but it is not of me. I'm not of this system. The system can call me whatever it wants, but it does not define me. I am a fabric made of something beyond they could ever imagine. And so are you. So are you. And this is not about ego. Oh no. Someone who lives in their ego will see this and think that it is ego. It is self-sovereignty. It is unshaken self-sovereignty, earned. Baby, I earned this. I earned it. And I will not lose it. So I show up for myself every day. And then as I continued on my journey, God kept telling me there's more for you to do. And I was like, what else? Oh, you're going to have to show up and be vulnerable. Well, I've been vulnerable, God. I posted 21 days in a row. No, last summer, 2025, I found myself writing poetry for the first time in 30 some years and performing it. And I realized the lesson was no perfectionism. You're going to mess up, and that's okay. Are you okay with messing up, Kim? Okay, I can be okay with messing up. Be okay with messing up. Be okay with showing up imperfect. Be okay with being judged, because what we have what we have for you is going to require you to have this under control. And I thought that was it, because I did it, and it was freeing and liberating, but that was just the beginning. Follow and subscribe for more. And I'm going to tell you how I am now at a place where I am writing curriculum and providing courses and speaking opportunities to support, to be a witness. I'm not fixing anything, because you don't need fixing. I'm going to bear witness as you remember who you are and you reclaim your ancestral inheritance. Look at him looking.